Taser, I am Mika Barles, and we are the group 1 that will be tackle about the 6 basic fundamentals in volleyball and the importance of proper executions. Those actions are serving, passing, seating, spiking, blocking, and kicking. So much for that, volleyball will teach you for effective communication and gain trust among players that vital for successful plays in overall team performance. Each player has specific role, but their collective effort determines the outcomes.
Head up and down helps strengthen the neck muscles to improve head mobility and reduce risk of strain during quick movements.
Head right left enhances side-to-side neck flexibility to prevent stiffness from fast head turns during play.
Head right left enhances side-to-side neck flexibility to prevent stiffness from fast head turns during play. Forward shoulder circles prefers the shoulder forward movements like passing and blocking. Backward shoulder circles activates and warm up shoulder joints for better range of motion during serving and spiking. Upper body rotations warm up the core and spine, essential for powerful hitting and agile movement. Hip rotation increases hip mobility for smoother lateral movements and jumps. Knee circles lubricates the knee joints to prepare for frequent squatting and jumping. Touch ground stretches the back and hamstring to support better posture and prevent muscle pulls.
First, we have serving. The serve is the first contact in a volleyball game, and it is an important opportunity to gain an advantage over the opposing team. It is a skill that every player must master as its first move that can give your team momentum and shut down your opponent's momentum. Although serves as the bump is used to receive the ball from the opposing team's serve or hit. The goal of passing is to keep the ball in play and set up an offensive play. To pass effectively, the player should get in position, keep their arms straight and feet parallel, extend their knees forward, and make contact with the ball using their forearms. Ideally, the ball should be passed high toward your seaters so that they can facilitate offensive plays for your team. This is the first step in basic pass spike sequence that makes a foundation of volleyball.
So thank you, and I am Jershel Major Grafil, and I will be the one who discuss the passing, or what we call, also known as the bump. Like it is used to receive the ball from the opposing team. So, passing. A flat form with the forearms. So, the position is like this. When you have to receive the ball, position the thumbs aligned, ganito, and the hands joined to create a consistent surface. So, extended the knees. Extend mo siya forward slightly and use the legs and shoulders to absorb and direct the ball rather than swing the arms. Like, ganito po. Imbis na gaganon ka lang, when you have to receive the ball by passing from the opposing team. So, ang better na gawin po is i-extend mo yung knees mo and bend ka forward slightly and use your legs and shoulders together. Not only mag-swim ka lang ng arms mo. Then, make contact with the ball on the forearms. Siguraduhin mong tatama talaga dito sa hands mo. And ideally, passing is high and close to the setter to facilitate an optimal set. For example, imagine the opposing team serves the ball over the net. So, the passer moves quickly into position, like bending the knees and keeping their arms straight and straightened together. As the ball approaches, they angle their arms toward the setter and absorb the ball's force. So sila yung passing is pwede siyang pumunta dun sa, like, yung passing is together with the receiver. So yung receiver, yan yung passing natin. Once na yung opposing team is mag-serve siya, and example, ako yung receiver, ipapas ko po sa setter. So, sabi dito, they angle their forearms toward the setter and absorb the ball's force. So, ang gagawin po ng receiver is they have to control the ball's motion or force. And by shrugging their shoulders and stepping forward slightly. So, this controlled pass sends the ball high and accurately to the setter, who can then set up a hitter for a spike. Then yun po yung pinaka-importante is yung receiver po. Ang pagpassing ng bola to the setter. Kasi if pangit po yung nag-receive, and pangit po ang magiging kalabasan ng passing, and the setter hindi po sila makaka-tsempo ng pag-set kasi nga pangit ang receiver or the passer. Yes, this sequence, pass, set, and spike. It is the foundation of volleyball offense and relies heavily on a good pass to initiate. Nakasalalay po lahat sa receiver ang pag-pass ng ball to the setter. So, passing is arguably the most important skill in volleyball because it sets the tone for the entire offensive play. Yes po. Without a good pass, the setter cannot effectively set the attackers. Yung po sinasabi ko kanina, like, the setter cannot effectively set the attackers. So, making it difficult for the team to score the points. Yes. Opo. Kasi, if you have the accurate passing, so it can also helps that the team transition quickly from defense to offense and maintaining momentum during fast-paced rallies. So, in addition, passing is about control, accuracy, and positioning also. It requires a proper technique and body mechanics. Kaya nga po meron po tayong training for that in volleyball, so we can get the accurate movement and force to the ball and passing through the to the setter. And yes, to deliver a precise ball to the setter, sinabi ko. So, enabling successful offensive plays and ultimately contributing to the team success on the court.
Setting or overhead passing is the most important step in offensive play as it determines which player gets to spike or attack. This is normally done by team setters and is the second step in a pass-hit spike sequence. Setter must have a good hand-eye coordination and the ability to make quick decisions to determine who to pass to. Setters must also have a good spatial awareness to know where their teammates are, as well as where opponents' defense are the weakest. The player should use their fingers to create a triangle which their thumb and the fingers. Their hands should be above their heads. With the fingers relaxed but steady, with their knees and elbows slightly bent. When they are about to set, it is important to follow through with the motion with their entire body by extending their knees and straightening their arms. Hitters want to create a high and accurate ball trajectory toward their hitters. That's easy and comfortable to hit. When playing in a competitive setting where hitters are most experienced and comfortable with their hitters, hitters can change the tempo of the attack by doing a quicker set. This needs to be coordinated with the hitters, but when done right, it can be a devastating weapon. That's hitters want to create a high, accurate ball trajectory toward their hitter that's easy and comfortable to hit. When playing in a competitive setting, those hitters are more experienced and comfortable with their hitters. Hitters can change the tempo of the attack by doing a quicker sets. This needs to be coordinated with the hitters, but when done right, it can be a devastating weapon that's difficult to react to.
Attacking, also known as hitting, is the final step in the pass, set, spike sequence and used to score points. There are a variety of different ways to attack a ball, but the most common and consistently effective way to do is by spiking. Spiking is a combination of jumping with an powerful arm swing in order to smash the ball into the opponent's side of the court. As you get more advanced in volleyball, there are many different types of spike you can. Cross-court spike. A cross-court spike is an attack that goes diagonally across the court from the one corner to the opposite corner. This is the type of spike is often used to avoid opposing team's blocker and to get target in an open area of the court. Line spike. Line spike is an attack goes to the straight down the line ahead of the hitter, either on the left or right side of the court. This is the type of spike is difficult to block, but also difficult to land. It's reading near the out of bounds line. Tool spike. A tool spike is an attack that intentionally hits off the opposing team's blocker, deflecting the ball out of bounds. This is the type of spike is often used when the opposing team's blocker is positioned close to the net and the attacker has limited options. There are just some of the most popular spiking techniques. However, there are more than one listed above. To be good spiker, the player must have good timing, jump power, and overall athleticism. To spike effectively, the player should approach the ball with quick three-step approach, jump high, and hit the ball with the force and accuracy.
Blocking is a defensive skill to stop the opposing team's attack and also be used to potentially score points. Blocker must focus on stopping the opposing team's offensive attack while also paying attention to the opposing setter so they can better predict the opposing team's attack strategy. It is important for the blockers to be able to react to an attack quickly and be in position before the attack is complete. In order to block, blockers should stand readily with the elbow in front of them and palm facing forward. When the opposing hitter is about to attack, blockers should be in position to jump in front of their attack and then be able to explosively jump and raise their hand to block the attack.
Digging. Digging is a defensive skill used to save the ball from hitting the ground. It is often done when the ball does not come directly at the player and the standard underhand pass would be impossible or extremely difficult to get. To get into a digging position, the player must sink their hips low to the floor with their heels slightly raised in order to be light on their feet. They must then stretch out their arms into the underhand pass position. In order to dig for the ball, the player must push off their toes and use their lower body to move their upper body. Player must also be ready to dive for the ball, but that's not necessary if you are already positioned to where the ball might be going. Liberos are often the position that digs the most as they are the core of a team's defense. Players who are digging must have good reflexes, footwork, and body control. To dig effectively, the player should get into the position to receive the ball before the attack is finished. This requires good ball tracking skills as well as good awareness of your blockers. Players who are digging must use their blockers as a wall and cover the area that the blocker can't defend. They must also be able to control the ball and create a clean pass to a team.
Volleyball is a dynamic and fast-paced sport that relies heavily on teamwork, strategy, and precise coordination. One fundamental aspect of the game that influences both defense and offense is the rotation system. Rotation in volleyball refers to the way players move around the court and each side or point, ensuring that everyone plays different position. Understanding this rotation is crucial for players, coaches, fans alike, and it affects on the flow tactics of the game. At the start of the volleyball match, each lineups in specific formation with 6 players. The court is divided into 6, which are the setter, number 1, right hitter, number 2, middle blocker, number 3, outside hitter, number 4, number 5 also is outside hitter, and of course, the middle is libero number 6. And number 1 through 6 starting with the serving position. The back right corner, zone 1, moving clockwise. Each player occupies on this zone, and their positioning determine the role during the rally, such as serving, attacking, blocking, and defending. However, the main role of the teacher is whenever a team wins the serving from the opponent, all players must rotate one position clockwise before the next serve. This means the player in zone 1 moves to 6, the player in zone 6 moves to 5, and so on. This rotation continues throughout the match, ensuring that every player cycles through all positions on the court. Rotation affects the serving order as well. The player who moves into zone 1 is always the next server. This is why the team must remember the order of their players carefully, Serving out of order result in penalties, so maintaining the correct rotation is essential for compliance with the rules and smooth gameplay. Besides adhering to the rules, rotation is a strategic component. Each position on the volleyball court has specific responsibilities. For example, front row players 4, 3, 2 are primarily focused on attacking and blocking at the net, while back row players zone 5, 6, 1 focus on defense, passing, and sitting. As players rotation through these zones must adapt the rules accordingly. The challenges with rotation is transition from back row to front row, or vice versa. When players rotate, they change the rules significantly. A player who's serving and defending in the back row might now be required to perform offensive attacks at the net. This requires versatility and skill, making volleyball sport well-rounded players thrive. Coaches often design specialized offensive and defensive systems around rotation, such as 5-1 or 6-2 formations, which determine the number of seaters and hitters on the court. These systems rely heavily on proper rotation to ensure that the strongest attackers are in front row position when the team is serving or receiving. Rotation also impacts submissions, while players must rotate in the court. Coaches can substitute players during dead ball situation to bring in specialists like liberos or blocker. However, substitute must enter in a way that maintains the proper rotation. Rotation is a fundamental rule that governs player movement on the court. After gaining the serve, it ensures fairness, organization, and strategic depth by requiring players to cycle through various rules and position. Mastering rotation helps teams maintain order, capitalize on player strength, and adapt during the flow of the match. Understanding how rotation works not only enhances a team's performance, but also deepens appreciation for the complexity of volleyball. Each rotation changes the dynamic of the game, making volleyball an exciting and strategic sport to play and watch.